Welcome to the office. Let's talk. So, when I hire someone, whether it's an intern, designer, or a project manager, I'm not just looking for a list of software skills or a polished portfolio. I'm looking for someone I can trust, someone who's curious, someone who sees architecture not just as a job, but as a craft. And honestly, that doesn't always come through on the resume. So today I want to walk you through what I actually look for when I'm hiring. The things that matter most, and the things you might not realize matter at all. So let's start with the obvious. Yes, your portfolio and your resume matter. They'll get you in the door. They show effort, they show design ability, they may show technical ability. But once you pass that first filter, I'm no longer looking at what you can do. I'm looking at how you think. If your portfolio shows me beautiful renderings, but no process, no sketches, no diagrams, no messy middle, I don't know how you got there. I want to see how you make decisions, how you solve problems. Because design is problem solving. It's not just image making. So yes, the basics matter, but they're just the start. So I've hired people right out of school that have outperformed licensed architects. Why? Because of attitude. If you show up with humility and curiosity, I can teach you anything. But if you show up acting like you already know everything, I probably can't teach you anything at all. Architecture is a team sport. We deal with deadlines, mistakes, revisions, sometimes chaos. Many times chaos. And I need people who can stay calm, adapt, and take feedback without breaking. So in short, give me curiosity and grit over a perfect resume any day. Also, you'd be surprised how much of architecture is about communication. You might spend half your day explaining ideas to clients, consultants, contractors, city officials, maybe even other architects. So when I interview someone, I'm listening for clarity. Can you explain your project simply? Can you talk about your process without rambling on or even apologizing for it? If you can communicate clearly, you're already ahead of half the field. And no, that doesn't mean being a smooth talker and being charismatic. It means being thoughtful. It means being able to take a complex problem and make it understandable. And here's one that separates the good from the great. It's initiative. If you see a problem, even a small one, do you take ownership and solve it? Or do you wait to be told? When someone on my team anticipates what's next, I notice. When they check a drawing twice before sending it out, I notice that. When they bring a sketch or an idea to a meeting, even if it's rough, I'll notice that. Because initiative, it tells me you care. And that care, eventually, it turns into trust. And that's what every employer is really looking for. So this one's a little harder to define, but what I'm also looking for, it's real. It's the fit. Every office has a culture, a rhythm. Some are fast-paced, some are technical, others are reflective and design-heavy. So when I'm hiring, I'm looking for someone who fits how we work. Not necessarily someone identical to me, but someone who adds something positive to the mix. In our office, we're very client-first. We want to do what's best for the client and the best for the project that they're going to have. And sometimes that means having humility and having humbleness, and I'm looking for those types of things too. You don't have to be the loudest voice in the room, but you do need to listen. You need to collaborate, and you need to respect the craft. So culture fit isn't all about personality. It's mostly about mindset. All right, lastly, let's talk about some red flags. These are the things that I see all the time, and you would be amazed how often I see these things. If your portfolio or your resume has spelling errors, that's a big red flag. If it's missing sheets or they're formatted inconsistently, maybe they're just straight prints from Microsoft Word and it's not in a clear and concise format that shows you appreciate design. It tells me you didn't really think about it and you didn't really check your work. And that's not something we can have in architecture. Big red flag. If you show up late to the interview, it tells me you might also do the same to meetings. And in our office, that's one thing we try to pride ourselves on. We're not going to be the people late to the meeting. It doesn't mean we have to be super early either, but you won't be waiting on us. Big red flag. If you badmouth your previous boss or professors, that kind of tells me everything I need to know. You don't need to sugarcoat it and pretend like they were great, but if all you do is complain about the last place you worked, you're probably going to feel the same way about this place. So the truth is, how you do small things is how you'll do big things. Your attention to detail, your humility, your reliability, that's going to go a long way in this field. So what do I look for when hiring? Curiosity, initiative, communication, humility, but above all, a love for the work itself. If you bring all those things to the table, even as a student or intern, you'll stand out more than you think. So take a breath. You got this. All right, let's get back to work.